Hey everyone, hope you had a good weekend. Today we're going to mess around with some forms using sub D, and we're going to play with some kind of random facade studies for the form. So let's get started. We're going to just make a sub D box, something kind of like that. From here, we're going to subdivide it out. And from here, let's just hold Control Shift, and we're going to do just a few rotations here. We'll do that again. And we'll just keep moving it over so we have some thickness here in our rotations. And then these end parts, what I'm going to do is just select the ends and let's just extrude those out. And from here, what I'm going to do is just rotate it again. And we're going to kind of make just a pretty basic loop here. Just like so. And those end pieces we extruded, I might just scale those up just a hair. Okay, we'll do the bottom too. I might just scale it in just a bit. Okay, do the same for the top there. All right, and I might just go through and delete some of the lines that are happening so we get some kind of smooth portions happening. And let's do a bridge from to here to there maybe. See what that looks like. Kind of dirty looking, but we'll kind of organize it out just a bit. Okay. And then I might just, we'll leave that part. Might take out a couple of these. One there. That one. And what I want to do next is, let's put some creases in this. Just like that. We'll make these creased. This will be creased. Okay, and we'll leave that one. Let's bring this up so we get kind of this kind of faceted design happening here. Might take out a couple of these. This one too. And leave that. Select the center. And from here, do this. Do the same for here. Again, make it a little bit faceted almost. So I think something like that's going to look pretty cool. Do the same for over here. And then looks like we got a little bit of a tangle happening in our kind of smooth shape there. Might just delete out stuff so we can get some kind of nice curvature happening on a few portions of this. That's great. Okay, what happens if we delete this? We'll leave that. I might crease these out underneath here. What I might actually do is just rotate this 180. That looks better. You never know, folks. Okay, bring this out. Kind of an alien shape. All right, what I might do, just so it fits the frame once we get to rendering, just kind of scale it in one direction there. Bring that up. Get some nice stuff happening through there. I might take these two edges, just pop them up just a bit. There we go. And we'll do something like that, like that. That's looking pretty cool. So sub D is really just good for, really just sculpting a form in Rhino. I think there was a question on YouTube before, could you do this in Rhino 6? And the answer is yes, but you would need T-splines as a plugin. And I don't even know if it really works all that well. So if you can, and you want to do something similar to this, you'll have to get the Rhino work in progress, Rhino 7, and have a go at it. All right, so I think that's looking pretty cool. So from here, what I want to do is we'll just convert this to a poly surface, and I'm going to check the scale on it for once, and we're going to type in units. I want it to be in feet. We're in feet, and let's just scale the whole thing, because the Grasshopper stuff, we don't want it to get super crazy. So I just made that 40 feet for now. Okay, looks pretty good. And let's select our sub D there. We're just going to hide it for now. What I want to do is explode out our poly surface that we created, and I just want to select the smooth shapes, not the crease shapes in this model. And what I'm going to do is just join them. And might not get it the first time. It's kind of hard to see everywhere. Okay. Missing a couple still, I think. Yep. So one's in there. Got that one? Yep. Okay. I'm going to join it. I'm just going to lock it, make sure we got everything. Got missing that one. Looks like we selected creased object, which we don't want. We have this one we missed, and this one. I'll hit undo. We're going to join all these together again. I'm going to take out that crease area. Okay. I believe that's all of them. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll just join out the creased area, type in unlock. We're just going to lock down the creased area now. And then from here, we're going to head over to Grasshopper, type in brep. What I want to do is just put kind of these random pipes all around here. So we're going to set one brep, set a bounding box over this brep, and we're going to deconstruct that brep. And we need to find the face on the bottom. So we're going to type in list item. List. Let's type in item. Okay. Go over to face. And we're going to click down. Usually the top and the bottoms are 4 and 5 on the actual list. So we'll guess and we'll say it's 4. That's the bottom. Perfect. Okay. I'm just going to hide everything else that we don't need. I'm going to hide our brep surface for now. Then we're going to type in populate geometry. And I'm going to type in 255 for the points. And we'll type in a 2 for the seed that we'll use later. And what I'm going to do is just copy and paste that populate down. We'll put the number into 255. Keep those equal. We'll put the seed in the lower one. So they're two different sets of points. Same number. And we're just going to type in a line. That should give us random lines from there. And obviously it can change with the seed. Okay. And what I want to actually do before that to make sure it's covering everywhere, we're going to just move all this stuff over, and from our surface we'll type in area and type in scale. The C goes into the centroid of the area. We're going to scale that original surface that we found. Type in 0.255. Let's just make it slightly bigger than what it currently is. And we're going to plug in all that stuff into the populate so we get a little bit bigger area in there. Okay. So what we're going to do is project all those lines onto that brep. And if the area is not big enough, it might not actually project correctly onto the actual brep. We're going to do project over to the brep. We should have some random lines happening, which is pretty cool so far. So we're going to need a heck of a lot more than that. So if we go over to the count, let's turn that like 100. So it's looking pretty cool. Now if I look at it, it seems like it's just obviously projecting in the Z direction, and I want it to look a little bit more random and more bird nest like. So what we need to do is just change the actual direction on the vector. So I'm just going to type in XYZ to create a new vector. Obviously we want it to go up. So we're going to put 1 on the Z, and then we'll just do some kind of random numbers on the X and the Y so we get them slightly different than each other. And we're just going to plug that vector. Should change. Okay. So that's looking much better than what it was. So if we change more, we'll get a very, very random vector. That'll make this look a little bit. 5. That's looking much better. Okay, I'm just going to increase the number. Looking good. Move all this stuff over just a hair. Okay, and then those lines, all I'm going to do is make them mesh pipes. And I'm going to use mesh just because it'll create less geometry and it'll run quite a bit faster. And we'll make the radius pretty small for now. And the reason why I put segments in first as 3 is just because it'll run exponentially faster rather than having the default, which I think is 10. It's just more geometry, so 3 is by far less geometry on the mesh. It looks like we need to change the radius just so we can see through it just a little bit. Okay, now if we bake that out, let's see what it looks like. There we go. That's looking cool. Very cool. So I think the view is something like this. What I want to do is just change a couple of the vectors, but I think this is definitely what we're looking for. Maybe the view is actually like this. So we're going to change the vectors just so we don't have a lot of these straight kind of pipes happening, but it's definitely looking cool. Okay, so let's change, let's see here, let's move that 1 up to 0.5, or 0.5 for the X. And let's just tone down the radius just a hair, 0.05 maybe. And what's that? I'm going to join these together. It'll speed up our definition. So we'll just flatten that and hide the mesh pipe. Okay. I think that's looking pretty cool. I kind of want the projection to go this way because it seems like we're getting a lot. Like this side looks great. So we might have to increase the X just a little bit more. Actually, it's looking pretty cool everywhere. So this side just looks better to me. So maybe we'll render out that side anyway though. Okay, so let's change that around just a bit. What I'm going to do is just swap out the X and the Y. And what I'm going to do there. The Y. Okay. Looks like that mesh pipe's not agreeing with that, but that's totally fine. Let's just bake it out and see what we have. I think we're going to have a bad mesh. Nope, turned out all right. That's much better. So we're getting kind of the craziness. And if you notice up here, we're missing a portion. That's just because the projection is missing based on our vector. So what we need to do to fix that, super easy, and that's why we put the scale in at the beginning there. So we'll just make the scale of this bigger. So let's do 2.2 maybe. Fill that gap up. Yep, filled it up. And let's just make the count a little bit more. Let's do 1200 so we fill in the, it's the scale of the original lines are going to miss. So it's going to seem less dense. Okay, let's see what that looks like. I think that's it. Looks really cool. All right. So from here, what I'm going to do is just change the materials as usual for Lumion. And I'm thinking that's going to be some sort of white kind of thing so we can see it clearly. And these, let's make them wood maybe. So I'm going to type in offset surface for each one of these. And let's just do the distance of 1. Give them just a bit of thickness. Let's wait for it. Oop, turned out a little crazy. All right, let's flip them maybe. It might not honestly matter in the end. That looks good. And just so we don't have kind of the moments like that happening, I'm just going to move some of them in if that works. Or I might just scale it up just a hair. Same with this one, we'll just scale it. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. Okay, and so let's just change those to wood for now. Looks great. Okay, so I'm just going to move this structure. Let's see how it fills the space real quick for the rendering view we were kind of looking at. I'm going to scale that down just a hair again. Move it up. Okay. Ooh, that didn't work. Move it down. Move it right there. I think that'll be a good view. Or even this view looks pretty sweet. I still see some of those straight line things, and it just might be how the B-rep handled it, but I think our view is going to be here anyway. So that looks good right there. Okay, so we'll just work with that model for now. What I'm going to do is just type in bounding box as usual, and I'm going to bring it down to the 000 mark, just like so. And we're going to explode out that bounding box that we have. That's going to be our landscape. And I'm thinking we might do kind of a swampy landscape today. So I'm going to type in rebuild, type in invert so we don't select our model. And let's turn our points on. And we'll go to our select tab, paintbrush tool. Let's just give it a few little ravines in here. Some maybe are a little bit smaller. It's going to go right underneath there. Okay. A little bit smaller ones. Okay, make a bigger one. You might not even be able to see half of this, but we're still doing it, folks. Okay, I'm just going to bring that down, let's say 3 feet. All right. So again, it's going to be kind of a swampy thing. I'm going to make sure this is sitting on some sort of ground. All right, what I'm going to do is just type in smooth a few times. Oop, not that smooth. Bring it down just a hair. Bring it up. Okay, we'll do the same thing. All right. And I know this might look like it's floating, but the grass that we're going to use, I think it'll take care of it. So let's just change this to grass. What we're going to do is add in a plane for some water. And I think in Lumion, once we get there, what I'm going to do is actually just make kind of a mountainous background. So it looks like it's in kind of a scene everywhere. All right, we'll change that to water. All right, all those overlaps are fine because we're going to let the grass kind of ride through there. So, and we are all set for Lumion. All right, we're here in Lumion already, and we'll just get started with changing some materials. Let's make the grass right off the bat. We're going to do wild grass, just so we get some kind of nice moments where the grass is flowing into the water area here. What I might do is actually make the grass size or the length just a little bit taller, make the size just a hair bigger, so it looks kind of like a swamp ground or marsh. And let's change the water out. Might have to try kind of a busier water just to get kind of the effects of the grass kind of overrun in there. Actually, I kind of like that. Yeah, we'll keep it with the ripples. Those look nice. Ocean just is a little bit too crazy, so yeah, we'll just do calm pond. And then from here, let's change that out for a nice stone texture. And let's do some wood. How's that look? What if a darker wood would be good? Actually looks pretty nice. The patterns looks pretty cool. Let's stick with that maybe for now. Actually, I like this one. And I'm going to make that a little bit rougher on the relief. I think that looks pretty good. So let's add some Entourage. Let's do some nature here. Get some cattails in there maybe. See what we got here. Just a few kind of tall little grass pieces in there. Maybe not everywhere. Okay. Get some dead ones in there too. And we'll just do a few kind of random ones out in the distance there. And we'll do some kind of random weeds. Just give some different colors to the overall scene. Okay, I think our view is going to be, let's see here, somewhere in here. I think a view like that's pretty cool. What's the other side look like? The other side looks pretty sweet too though, so yeah, we'll just play around. So let's just populate some random areas with this one. Do some dead portions there. Random. Get some dead ones. Okay. And let's get some, fill out the area just a hair more. New follower, yay. Okay. And maybe a few in here. And I'll just change out the colors just a little bit so it's not all the same. That looks pretty good to me. So should we add some animals on this one maybe? Let's do cows maybe. Be a cow there. Cow kind of behind him. A little bit smaller. Okay. Kind of like land manatees. There we go. Okay. Looks like they're all bulls, but that's all right. Rotate that one so friends. And let's try out some renderings here. Okay. So I think I like that view quite a bit. I'm going to change the focal length just a hair. So I think that's a good looking shot. Something like that, so it fills out the frame quite a bit. Maybe we'll change it. Can't really see the swampiness, which we so tirelessly made. Okay. That's a good shot. Even it out just a hair. We'll save that one. Go to custom, realistic for the filters, add a sun. Let's make it, let's see here, add some precipitation maybe. Looks a little bit more wet than it should look. Some nice fogs happening. Okay, let's add that 2-point camera action. And let's change our sun just a hair. Now in the past when I've done sun with a mountain background, you can't go too low on it because we'll get shadows off the mountain range. Okay, so let's try that one. I think we're on 61. Okay, there we go. That's looking cool already. Very cool. Okay, now what I want to do is just try to get some shadows in there just a little bit more. And maybe we need to bump up the clouds in the background since it's raining. Okay, so we were at 0.7 or 0.6 earlier. So I kind of like what's happening there, so we can start to see kind of that nest happening. Let's add some clouds. Let's do low clouds as kind of a maximum. Let's add a few more. Let's render this one out again. 61 over. There we go. Much better. All right, let's just mess with the sun one more time. Might have to bring this up. I have to try this a couple times just to make sure we're on the right track with it. Yeah, we're starting to get some nice shadow formations on that skin. So I think the more, the better on this particular shot. Otherwise it looks kind of warped into one. From a distance it might look a little bit weird. Even if we have to render it out a little bit darker, we can always brighten it up in Photoshop. Alright, we're close. I'm going to bring down the sun height. Okay, we'll try that one more time. I think we may have gotten it. I like it. Alright, looks like this is ready for Photoshop. Alright, so this is all ready for Photoshop. I'm just going to use the burn tool as usual. Try to just highlight a few areas. Try to make it kind of stand out. Might darken through here just so we get some more shadows happening on the overall, kind of those pipes that we made earlier. And just kind of lighten stuff up. And then the sky here, just to make it a little bit more dramatic, I might just take and burn all the way through there so we get a little bit of blue sky happening. On the wood, we'll just kind of highlight areas of it so it looks like the rain's hitting it and making it a bit more glossy. I know it's not possible, but I wish the water was a little bit more blue, but a little late. And just brighten up a couple spots there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll just kind of blow that out just a bit more. That looks pretty nice. And then I'm just going to hit Control J just to see if this is any better. Nope, I don't like that. Let's do auto contrast. Let's see here. Kind of like it dark. What's auto color do? No, let's leave it warm. Okay, Control Shift N. And we'll just go to our brush tool, add a few vignette areas here, make it a little bit more mysterious. Lighten that up just a bit with our opacity tool. And I think this is all set and ready to go. I'm going to just delete or erase some of the vignetting happening through here. There we go. All right, this looks great. Again, thanks for watching. Definitely subscribe, tell your friends, follow me on Instagram. And if you guys are, doing these along, why don't you post them, tag me, and I'd love to see what you got. Hopefully you're trying out other stuff with it. And if you guys have any questions, obviously leave comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great week.